I wanted to ask you about the inheritance law in Thailand and how do the inheritance law in Thailand differ from other countries.
Okay.
So can we start with like not having the last will?
Sure, of course. Your wife, your kid, your mom, your dad, one level. Okay, first of all, as a lawyer, right, the safest way, I would suggest that is you do your will in front of the officer, what I call is a registered will.
Is there also a tax? What about my assets in different countries? So what's the most frequent problems and questions you have regarding the inheritance law?
How can I take a will? Now we are sitting at White Consular. We are providing full range of legal service to everyone. We have Vice Consular in Bangkok and in 𝐂𝐸𝐬, which I met you in a branch before. And we have Vice Consular in Europe, which is based in Stockholm, in Sweden now.
So next time we meet in Sweden.
Why not? Come.
All right.
You're more than welcome.
All right, so we go next to the inheritance and the last will.
Okay, cool.
With over 80,000 retirement visas being issued in Thailand annually, many foreigners, they choose to stay in Thailand and establish their lives and assets here. Being informed about local inheritance regulations ensures that foreigners can effectively plan for the distributions of their assets in the event of their passing. I wanted to ask you about the inheritance law in Thailand and how do the inheritance law in Thailand differ from other countries?
Because Thailand inheritance law is different than, of course, in Europe is different. Let me say, like in Thailand and Sweden, okay, we are very different in that too. Because in Thailand, the asset owner, the dead, can say that, hey, I don't want my son to inherit anything, or I don't want this.
But we are talking about like having last will and not having the last will.
Okay.
So can we start with like not having the last will?
Sure, of course. Not having the last will in Thailand, it will go to the law. Means that if you are married, okay, to be very concise on that, if you are married, first of all, you have to distribute your married property first.
Okay.
50% will go to your wife first. If your wife still alive.
All right.
Of course, if you're still married. If you're not, then we're not talking about that thing.
Okay.
And then most of the thing, another 50% that you have left, or most of the thing will go to your bloodline. Most of it, and then
so kids.
Your kid, correct.
Okay.
And then your kid, let's say you have 2 kids, the 2 kids will share equally. And if you don't have kid, okay, then such property will go to your brother or sister.
Okay.
If you don't have kid, you don't have brother or sister, then we're talking like your aunt, your uncle.
All right.
Okay. So, and if you don't have any at all, like, I'm so sorry for that guy anyway, then it will go to the government. So in Thailand, inheritance law without a will is using we call it close relative get first.
Okay.
But close relative cut the further relative. So if you don't have will, your wife, your kid, your mom, your dad, one level.
All right, I see. Is there also a tax?
Right now in Thailand, it must be over 100 million Thai baht. So
to be taxed
on the inheritance tax. So I don't think. Yes, there is a tax result, but if your property is that amount.
So same regulations apply for non-Thai citizens who own property.
As long as the asset in Thailand is applied here, just like that. But if the asset is outside of Thailand, sometime, then we will have to check whether, because what asset, I would say that any like a real asset, like immovable asset, like house, land, stuff, you will have to apply. It will be applicable by the law that country that the land has been based on which country. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So what's the most frequent problems and questions you have regarding the inheritance law?
How can
The
I
cases.
make a will?
The cases. Okay.
How can I make a will? That is the most frequent question.
So, and can the foreigner inherit the land?
It can be given to you. They can say they will have the asset owner can say they give to you as a inherit. But as a matter of fact, as a law requires, you cannot hold it. You cannot have your name as a foreigner
Okay.
to own a land.
Okay. So what should I do? Do I sell it?
So yes, you will have to ask to become a inheritance asset manager, and then you have to sell it and give the money to the inherit.
I see. I see. So, and then we're going to the will.
Would you like to have a look on our construction sites this time?
We have the last 17 availabilities for the foreigner freehold.
For the first phase?
For the first phase, yes. This large area is our swimming pool.
Okay.
Our swimming pool is 398 square meter. Gonna be the largest swimming pool on Koh Samui.
Okay, so should we walk?
Yes, let's go walk through
All
the
right.
construction
All
site.
right.
Mm-hmm.
How do the will work in Thailand? Are the will made by a foreigner valid in Thailand?
Of course. The will can be made, I would say, right? Actually, there is several types of will that you can make in Thailand. The most suggested version, okay, I will go only for the most suggested version anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The most suggested version, we call it registered will, which is the will that you do in front of the government officer, and they will keep it for you. However, for the foreign, let's say, it's a little much pity, because you will have to have the residency in Thailand in order to register such.
Mm-hmm. So it's not so easy. So I cannot just use the lawyer?
You can just use the lawyer too. That is another version.
All right. So it will not have such a power as the first one, the recommended one?
No, they have the same. Okay, first of all, as a lawyer, right, the safest way, I would suggest that is you do your will in front of the officer, what I call is a registered will, right? The reason is why, because I don't know how rich you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether your inherit will make another will for you or not, or somebody is forging your signatures on something or not. I don't know, right? So in order to prevent those, right, is much safer and to comply to your will.
Okay.
If such will is registered to the land, in front of the officer, because it will be deemed that such will is made by you for sure, because the government officer endorsing as a witness for you.
Okay.
However, another kind is that you can just ask a lawyer to do it for you. Yeah, and then the lawyer will keep it for you, and then by the time you pass away, which I wish that day will never come, okay, then yeah, it's still compliable and it's still applicable on that.
All right. And who gonna be the executor? Who gonna make sure that my wishes are carried out properly?
Okay, first of all, to have a will in Thailand doesn't mean that it will be complied by your inherit right away, right? Especially when the money is in the bank, or when it's about a real asset, when it's land and house and condo and stuff, right?
All right.
You cannot just holding your will or even a registered will to go to the land office and say, hey, transfer it to my name. I'm the inherit one.
Okay.
You cannot.
All right.
You need to go to court,
Okay.
and the court will appoint you as an inheritance asset manager firstly.
Okay.
And then you use the court order to go to the land office or to the bank, and then they will check the court document, the verdict, the judge, or document, and then they will start the process for you. Okay, that's the procedure.
It's quite clear.
Yeah, that's the procedure. Yeah.
People found our videos about opening company in Thailand and owning property in Thailand very helpful. So I thought it would be great to dive into those topics again to
Yep.
clear some details. I also wanted to talk with you about the contested divorce, prenuptial agreement, and inheritance. Thought it's going to be useful for people who are living in Thailand. What about my assets in different countries? It's going to be the laws of the country.
Correct.
So I should have a separate will in another country.
You
where I
can
have
have same will. You can use the will here. However, by the time you have to translate into another country language,
Okay.
and then you have to go to your embassy to certify your signatures and your will. So you can use those will in other country too.
Okay. In this case, it's going to have the rights.
Correct.
Okay. I think this is more or less it's about the will and the inheritance.
Yes, I would suggest on this one, I would add it more a bit on this particular issue, right, about the will and stuff, right? Because we see many people, right, and case, right? By the time you make the will, just make sure. I would say that just a little bit caution on this one. Just make sure that you have understand it very clearly and fully, because sometimes people that we meet in our office and in our field of work,
Okay.
yeah, it is not so clear. And if the asset has been changed their form, because sometimes you change from condo and house into money before you pass away, or you change the form of money into the house, and so such thing is not in your will. So make sure that you updated your will too.
All right.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, that should be it then.
All right.
Okay.
That's it then.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll also add the form where people can leave all the details.
Yes.
So in case they have any requirements, requiree.
We will have our admin team contact.
All right. I'll give all the information to
Thank
you,
you.
and you have your team contact them directly.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is it. Thank you
Yeah.
for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.